Welcome back to another episode of Pants Picks. This is a show where I go through an NFL team's season and tell you the probability in which I think they're going to win every game each week. At the end, I'll come up with a win total that I can compare to the Vegas odds and also compare to the win total that Bill, local lighthouse enthusiast, comes up with. And he is here with me. Bill?
The lights are bright. I'm here.
That's right. Guiding the boats in one at a time. What team do we have today?
Today we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, 9-7-1 last season, second in the division. It's been a long time since the Steelers had a QB controversy. This is the last time the Steelers had a full season under a different quarterback was Tommy Maddox in 2003. Will this team need to completely rebuild, or can Trubisky keep this team in playoff contention?
Oof. All right, with the Trubisky and the controversy and the Maddox and the Roethlisberger, that's a lot of tongue twisters are going to twist you up real good. But let's see the schedule. Let's get into it. Mitch Trubisky, the Nickelodeon's most valuable player, and he's the only person, I think, or at least the first person to get that award when they did that Nickelodeon broadcast. So let's see how it works out. That was when he was with the Bears. Now he's with the Steelers. Week 1 at Cincinnati. 0% chance. They are not going to come out ready for it. I think the Steelers are still going to be putting the team together. Trubisky's going to be getting everything together. Watt's not going to make as big of an impact as they liked, and the Cincinnati Bengals are going to come off their Super Bowl loss with a dominating win over the Steelers. Week 2, hosting New England, 50-50. I think they can take it. Trubisky returns. You know, he's able to come back, beat New England in this one. But it's a 50% chance. Bill, do you think there's any chance that the Steelers can beat New England in week 2?
I also had that 50-50. On the road for New England, I think that it's going to be tough, but I think that they can do it. I think New England ends up winning that one.
All right. Week 3 at Cleveland. This is without Watson.
Hot pick.
And it is a hot pick. Jacoby Brissett, what makes it hot?
At Cleveland, Thursday night football. Pittsburgh's getting 3.5 points, as you said.
Yeah.
They're going to be without Watson. Brisket gets the nod.
Brissett?
Brisket.
Okay.
I think he's a good QB, though.
Yeah.
I think he puts a decent game together. He tends to hold the ball and not turn it over as much. But the Browns are a better team. I take the Browns to cover.
Okay. I will agree. I would put it as a 50-50. I'm assuming you put it as 50-50 on this one.
Yeah. Yep. It was 50-50.
We'll go with Cleveland as well. At Cleveland, I think I do give the slight nod to Cleveland, but we'll stick with the 50-50. Week 4, hosting the Jets. We're going to go with the 50-50 again. I'll take Pittsburgh, and I'm leaning towards a 75 because I think that T.J. Watt can make Zach Wilson's life a complete nightmare. But I just don't know how I feel about Trubisky. I don't know where to put him on that. Week 5 at Buffalo. Now, I'm not gonna keep it any secrets. I am a Bills fan, and you'd think I'd say 0% right away. But I'm not. I'm going to give them a 25% chance to win. They just beat Buffalo last year, week 1, and it had nothing to do with Ben Roethlisberger. It had to do with T.J. Watt. And the Bills have had trouble beating teams with really, really good pass rushers. And when you have a great pass rusher like that, I don't know, they have a new offensive coordinator, so that might change it, but I think that T.J. Watt will be really difficult for Buffalo. I still give them a 25% chance because the Bills are a far superior team with a far better quarterback and a far better roster, but T.J. Watt can really make it a pain for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Week 6, hosting Tampa Bay. 25% chance. I'll give him a chance. It's hard for me to not give Tomlin and TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick and just this team a chance. They have too many stars with too great of a head coach, and it would be hard to pick them to have a losing season, as they haven't had a losing season in decades. Week 7 at Miami, we'll go 50% on that. I'll take Miami, I think. Yeah, I'll take Miami. And what do you think, Bill? Do you think would you take Miami, or do you take Pittsburgh, or is it 25% for you?
I had 50-50.
Okay.
In Miami, I think that the home field advantage takes it. But I could definitely see the Steelers going down there and stealing this one. But, Miami did add Tyreek Hill for Tua to throw to, so I think that Miami gets a little bit of that extra bump there.
Yeah, it's hard to pick against Pittsburgh in some of these games, because you know that TJ Watt can really take over a game. He has the ability to take over football games and make quarterbacks just not even know what's going on, and they can have a lot of trouble. Week 8 at Philadelphia, I'm going to stick with a 50% here as well. I'll take Philly as the better team. And that's about it. Really nothing else to say there. Week 9, bye week. Week 10, hosting New Orleans. It's called another 50. Another 50%. These teams are in serious transition right now from their quarterbacks. Obviously, New Orleans started theirs last year, but you kind of wanted to see where they end up, and you don't really know. These teams went from division winners to middle of the road to now they don't have their Hall of Fame quarterbacks anymore. They're in a really similar position. I'll take Pittsburgh at home. Week 11, Cincinnati, hosting Cincinnati. I'll go with a 25% chance. I think they can beat Cincinnati at home. Chance that they can beat Cincinnati at home. They're probably not going to. Week 12 at Indianapolis is a hot pick. What makes it a hot pick?
Monday night football game. Pittsburgh's getting 5.5. I think it's going to be actually a good game to watch. I think Trubisky can lead the team to a comeback in this one, but they're not going to get what they need. They're going to lose by a field goal, but you can still win the bet because they're getting 5.5.
Ooh. I'm on with you on that one. I'll give it a 50-50, but yeah, Indianapolis I think will still take the win. But like you said, it's a 5.5. You can kind of sneak that. Very good. Week 13 at Atlanta. Oh. This one's hard for me. I'm going to give them a 75. I think they're going to start getting I think later in the season they might pick it up a little bit. Let's give them a 75% chance. They're going to feel good on that one after Monday Night Football in Indianapolis. Week 14, hosting Baltimore. I'll give them a 25% chance. They have classic division opponent. Lots of history here. Intensity. Harbaugh, Tomlin. I think the second and third longest tenured coaches, I believe. That will be a good game. Week 15 at Carolina. I'll give them a 50% chance, and I think they will win. 50% chance to win, and then they do win the game. Do you think they beat Carolina, or do you think Baker Mayfield holds them off, Bill?
I think by that point in the season in Carolina, Baker Mayfield's going to have his act together as long as he doesn't disrupt his wide receiver core. I think that Carolina wins that.
Okay. Couldn't argue with you. Can't argue with you there. Week 16, Las Vegas. Hosting Las Vegas, I'm going to give them a 50-50. I know Las Vegas. I do think Las Vegas is the better team, and I do think they'll win, but I don't feel like they're 25% better. Week 17 at Baltimore, I'm going to give them a 0. I think Baltimore will cold weather pound them in Maryland. And week 18 at home with Watson as the quarterback, trying to play spoil, and they will not. 25% chance of winning that game. And now, lots of 50s. A bunch of 25%. Let's see how we end up. What are the win totals? Vegas, Billy's, and mine. Let's try that again. Look at that. Good job, Bill.
Yeah. I like your picks.
Team coordinated.
Yeah, some of them we had a little bit different, but for the most part, you get one, I get one.
Yeah. Yeah. They're a funny team. They have a relatively difficult schedule, tied for 12th. And outside of their division is obviously a nightmare. So all the other 3 teams are better than them. That's tough. They're a 4th team in a division that's very good. You move them to the AFC South or the NFC South or the AFC North in particular, and they could really do a lot better. But instead, they're sitting here and playing against the AFC East, which is pretty good, and then their division, which is very good. So, obviously, Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta, they're not as great, but it's tough. It's a tough schedule, and they're a tough team, though. For lack of a better term, I'm sure a lot of people would use that same way to describe the Pittsburgh Steelers in particular. Tough team. TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Mike Tomlin, and they're going to make it hard for good teams, and I tend to agree with them. I think they can make it really difficult for certain good teams. The game that stands out the most to me is just the beginning of the first game last year. Bills fans riding high after being in the AFC Championship, being 13-3, and they lose 23-17 to the Pittsburgh Steelers or 24-17 because the Steelers had a blocked punt for a touchdown, and Josh Allen was uncomfortable the whole time. And you found out that a star defensive lineman, because then the Jaguars did the same thing against the Bills. So that's why they can do it. They could do it against Tom Brady. They could do it against Buffalo. They can do it against Cincinnati or Baltimore or Cleveland with Watson. But without a steady hand at quarterback, which I think we're not really sure about, it's hard to give them really confident wins, even over teams like the Jets and the Panthers and the Patriots or Dolphins even. It can be kind of hard to give them a big booster like, oh, their quarterback's going to put up this many points. Although Trubisky's led a Bears team with, I think everyone would agree, a worse coach to a 12-win season. So who knows? Trubisky could be really solid, or he could not. It's a really exciting season for him, and to find out what he comes up with. And as a Steelers fan, I would feel very, very medium. I wouldn't take the bet on either of them. It really depends on Trubisky, but I think the Vegas odds are close enough. What do you think? Do you see them winning 8 games?
I don't see it this year. Steelers fans, you had such a good run. I think that the change in quarterback, it's just Trubisky's good. He's not that good. He's not going to save the season. And last year they did all right. They had some games that could have gone either way. So this year is not going to be the same. I think that they'll find it hard to get to 7 wins.
Yeah. Okay. So would you bet the under?
It's too close for me to bet the under. I think you could pick out some games though, where you could make some money weekly, but
solid matchups.
For the long play, it's too tight.
Yeah, I agree. And if you do know this, I don't know this offhand unless Bill can pull it up really quickly, how many years the Pittsburgh Steelers have not had a losing season, but we're both predicting it, and Vegas is predicting it, but it might be 20, could be even 30 years. It's an insane amount of time that they have not had a losing season. But, so if you know that, write it in the comments, and if you did this, you should do it. If you haven't, you should. If you have, tell us how many wins they have. Tell us how many wins you think. Tell me if you think they're going to make the playoffs or not. Maybe the Nickelodeon's most valuable player of 2020, the one who got slimed and they sprayed the slime machines on the end zone and had kids explain to you what the penalties were and how plays worked. You tell me if you think that Mitchell Trubisky can do it, as he is the only MVP that I know of, and I did not say MVP. Either way, you should go through it. Tell us what your wins are. Tell us if you think that they are going to win 7+ games or 4 or less, you can decide between 0, 25, 50%, 75%, and 100% for every game, the probability in which you think they're going to win. If they're playing Baltimore, you think, I think it's a 50-50 chance. You say 50%. Counts as half a win. Do it yourself. Comment it in the comments and let us know what you came up with. As always, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.